What is up guys, it's Jordan here and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're going to be discussing the brand new game mode coming to Siege next year, which is going to be the zombie spin-off game mode, because you know, zombies is a really untouched area in gaming. I'm pretty sure there's only like 1 billion zombie games out there. I think Angry Joe probably described it best about Joe wanting to play another zombie game. There's so many of them, but it is new to Siege and hopefully it will be a very interesting game mode. So today we're going to be discussing whether or not it will be good for the game and just going through some different points. So sit back, relax, and let's get into the video. So as a quick summary, in case you guys aren't entirely familiar with what I'm talking about, Outbreak is a new game mode coming to Siege that has been confirmed for next year, and it's going to be a new PvE co-op style zombies mode. And there aren't exactly tons of details about it right now. I think most of it is speculation. I mean, the mode's confirmed and the new operators for it are sort of confirmed. Well, not entirely, we haven't got all the details, but again, it's been confirmed that there's going to be unique operators for it. A lot of it is still speculation because Ubisoft haven't exactly gone into details about it. I imagine they'll do that next year. But today we're going to be talking about points for, against, and just some overall summary of whether or not the mode will be good, because naturally with every completely new feature with Siege, like something major, there's always dividing opinions on whether or not it will be good for the game. Bear in mind, I will be trying to keep this pretty neutral, so feel free to let me know in the comments what you guys think of the new mode coming out and whether or not you're excited for it. So, will zombies be good for Siege? Or correction, will Outbreak be good for Siege? Starting off, we're going to go through the points for the mode being good. So the first one is new PvE content has been needed and wanted since the game has launched. Currently ranked is primarily the only game mode available. Obviously you do have casual and terrorist hunt. Casual is definitely more popular than terrorist hunt. Terrorist hunt is basically dead, it's just a shooting range. But generally people play ranked. There are the few that play casual to warm up for ranked and things like that. But obviously Siege is a very popular game and it is in need of new content big time. Something completely different from everything we've had. And I think I did say at the end of last year when we were coming into year 2 for Siege that I thought that it really needed some new content, as in new PvE content that was completely new and different, because the thing is you have lots of people that definitely like the idea of Siege but aren't so much into the competitive side of things, and even with casual right now it's a pretty competitive field. Like everyone's always playing pretty hard, so there's nothing really casual for people to actually play. I know, kind of ironic because we have casual, but there's nothing that people can just hop into and play easily with their friends. You kind of have a terrorist hunt, but I mean, if your friends are people that play Siege, they're probably not going to want to touch Terrorist Hunt because nobody touches it. So with this mode, it's going to be completely fresh and new, and it's going to both give old players or current players something new to play around with, and also it's going to give something for new players coming into it, just something very interesting that's going to please a lot of people if it's done right and provide a completely new way to play an already popular game, which is only beneficial because it's just going to bring in more players, which will hopefully transfer to ranked and will have a stronger player base for ranked as well. Kind of playing off of that, the second point is a completely new way to play the game, and I did kind of just mention that a minute ago, but it's completely new by the sounds of things, because obviously it's, for one, it's zombies. But the biggest thing is, well, like I was saying with one game mode, is for players that have been playing the game for a very long time, it can get boring. You know, it's the same thing, and as good as the game is, you can get bored of anything. Like, it can be the best thing on planet Earth, but if you play it like every day for 2 years or 2.5 years, however long the game's been out now, I can't remember off the top of my head, but if you play it every day, you're gonna get bored of it. Like, that's nothing against the game, it's just, you know, you kind of get used to playing the same thing over and over, and this is definitely something that's gonna be extremely beneficial to players that are getting a little bit tired of the game, because when you get something new, it doesn't just mean that you want to play that game mode, it can kind of bring your love for the whole game back. So for people that are really bored of the game right now, it's going to hopefully draw them back in. They'll play some of the new mode, and if they do like it and it is good, it might entice them to come back and play ranked as well. So that's another positive for Outbreak next year. Finally, we have enticing new players into the game who may not be interested in Siege's currently available modes, and because they are very limited, as I said earlier, and I have a couple of friends that basically I've tried to get to play Siege so many times, but they're just not interested in the competitive nature of it. They just don't want to play it. And like I said earlier, I know people that like the gameplay of Siege, because the gameplay of Siege is very solid. They just don't like playing ranked or casual even for that. They want something else, and that something else is going to be this mode. Now bear in mind, Siege is not a very expensive game right now because obviously it's been out for quite a while. You can pick it up quite cheaply, and with a new game mode like this coming out that's completely different, if it's something that becomes popular and they continue to evolve upon it and release new iterations of this game mode, it has the potential to bring in tons of new players, people that wouldn't normally play Siege for its current offerings, and that way again build a bigger community for Siege, because obviously that's the main thing. We all want a bigger community for Siege because it's a game that lots of people care about and really enjoy. With these primarily online games, you don't want the community to die off, and like this isn't a concern right now. Siege is still thriving, but obviously you've kind of got to think long term, and you've got to make sure that there's enough there that people are going to continuously be interested, because say for instance you never lose your interest for Siege but it dies off in like 5 years, it's going to kind of suck for you because you're going to have no one to play with and you won't be able to play it as much as you would now if the community is dying off. So having game modes like this and more ways to play increases the chances of the game being around for a lot longer. So overall, some of my key points for this being a good thing is just bringing back interest for players that may have lost interest, bringing in lots of new players, fresh new ways to play the game, and just overall expanding upon Siege's current offerings. Now against, bear in mind these aren't my personal opinions, these are just general opinions that people have expressed on forums, and I'm just going over them just to kind of get an overall picture of how people are viewing this new game mode. The first one, a natural one, a very large step away from what Rainbow Six as a whole is about, not just Siege, but the entire Rainbow Six franchise. There's never been anything like zombies in Rainbow Six ever. There's never been anything supernatural whatsoever. It's always been a very kind of counter-terrorist focused game where it's always human versus human. It's very realistic and tactical, and that has been in the core DNA of Rainbow Six since it first came out through to Siege until now. And lots of people that are die-hard realism fans for Rainbow Six naturally aren't going to be too interested in this new mode because it's a complete step away from what they consider Rainbow Six to be about and what they enjoy about it. Now my response to that would be just don't play it, but a lot of people will still see it there and they won't like the fact that it's just there and that they're going to have tons of people that are playing zombies in Rainbow Six. People don't like that, and you know, I can kind of understand that, especially if they've been a fan like I have of Rainbow Six since the beginning. But like I said, the mode's optional, you don't have to click on it. The next one, potentially splitting time on development of ranked assets for this new mode. This is one that I've seen talked about quite a lot. Personally, I don't think it's going to be too much of a problem. I'm pretty sure Ubisoft have got a big enough team to deal with that. But obviously with the rocky road that is Siege with bugs and things, people are very kind of like, oh, Ubisoft need to focus on making the game perfect. Again, I completely understand that point of view because Siege has been an up and down experience since it came out with bugs, as is a lot of games nowadays, unfortunately. But a lot of people naturally are worried that they're going to be taking away potential assets, team members from whoever works on Siege to come work on this new mode instead of focusing on ranked, which is what a lot of people consider to be the core. Well, it is the core of Siege. I don't know what I'm saying. It is the core of Siege, and people are worried about that. Hopefully, like I said, Ubisoft is a very big company, and I'm sure that the team on Siege is going to be of a good size, bearing in mind how big that game is, and I'm pretty sure they'll be able to distribute it around just fine, and it'll be okay. But that is a common thing that I've seen posted about people discussing whether or not it's going to be too much for them to handle at the moment, bearing in mind the past of Siege and its bugs and things. One that I kind of agree with, current operators may not be playable in this new mode, and also the operators in this mode won't be transferable back to ranked. Now I can kind of understand this. I assume the operators will be very tailored specific for this game mode, which makes sense and is understandable. However, it would be very fun to bring current operators into this game mode and be able to play all our favourite characters in a completely new and unique way, like blowing up zombies with Ash's gun, breaching round. That would be pretty damn cool. And unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get to do that. Obviously, we have got very specific operators by the looks of things for this mode, and lots of people are upset about that because they want to use all the characters that are currently there, because it's a very healthy selection of operators, and it would definitely improve the replayability of this mode by giving us access to all the operators. However, again, my response to this point is the mode has still got time. It's not out yet, and it's going to be the first version of this mode when it comes comes out, so anything could change, and people have vocalized a lot that they would like to see all the current operators in the mode, so we'll see what happens. Anyway, that's all the points I have for and against. My overall summary is I am so excited for this game mode. Like, I'm literally, when I saw this news, all of a sudden I'm just like super hyped about Siege at the moment. I was already kind of getting back into Siege anyway, but this news has just made me think, holy crap, like I really want to kind of start covering this on the YouTube channel. I want to get back into Siege. I'm just super pumped because it's new. It's completely new, and I'm, like I said, I've played Siege a lot. I have 2 accounts. People are always like, oh, you're only level 149, like you don't play that much. The thing is, I have 2 accounts because I bought it on Uplay originally, then I bought it on Steam afterwards because I forgot my Uplay details. So what I'm trying to say is, like, I've put a lot of time into Siege, like so much time. And yeah, it gets tiring after a while, it does get boring, and there are just some days where I don't want to play Siege, and that's really sad for me because I love the game, I really enjoy it. Luckily right now I'm kind of enjoying it again and getting back into it, but this mode is definitely something that I am super excited for because I've asked for it for so long for new PvE content, and I'm really excited to be able to bring in some of my friends that I've wanted to bring into Siege for a while because I know they don't like the game as it is or the modes, and I'm super excited to be able to get them to play with me, and I can play with all my friends who enjoy PvE and not PvP. So yeah, overall I think it's going to be a good thing for the game. It all depends on how they execute it, and hopefully it ends up being a good thing. And just take a look at Call of Duty, for instance. Like, a big selling point of that is zombies, and when it first came out no one really liked it or wanted it, and now it's blown up into a major selling point with people demanding it become its own game. I'm not saying Siege's mode will become that big, but anything's possible, so we'll see. Anyway guys, let me know in the comments what you think about the new game mode and whether or not you're excited or not. I would be super interested to see what you guys think. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, please do smack that like button for more awesome Siege content and other games. Also, if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's in the description. It's GamingGains YT. I'll be keeping you guys updated with new videos and everything that I'm doing on there. But anyway, thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.